This video is about weight loss, maximizing your chances of losing the weight that you're trying to lose. First, let me say something about weight loss. I think people make weight loss, as far as the equation, as far as how to lose weight, they make that harder, more difficult to understand than it really is. Now, the actual executing the equation, as far as the eating less and the burning more, that may be hard, because it's not always that easy to eat the right things and lower your calories. It's not always easy to get up even when you're tired and been working all day. You have your kids, you have homework to help with, you have dinner to cook, and you still got to make time for the gym or working out. So yeah, that could be sort of difficult for people. So I can sympathize with that part. Still not making any excuses, but I can sympathize just a little. But the equation for burning calories or losing weight is simple. What you're bringing in, as far as your calories, you want to burn off more than what you're bringing in. Simple. Has nothing to do with how much cardio you're doing, how many days you're doing it, how many hours you're doing it. It all comes down to having a balance between what you're bringing in the body and what you're taking out of the body. And what you're bringing in as far as what you're eating and what you're drinking and what you're taking out, what you're burning off. And you're burning it through cardio. Cardio is anything that gets your heart rate up and your breathing rate up and you're sweating. That's cardio. Cardio can be anything. It doesn't have to be just in the gym on the cardio machine. It can be anything. It could be dancing, walking, jogging, mowing the lawn, working in the yard. Anything that has your heart rate up and your breathing rate up and you're sweating, that's considered cardio. So no, you don't have to go to the gym to do cardio. So think about it. What you're bringing in your body, what you're eating, what you're drinking, and what you're sending out of your body. Once you create a balance between those two, you're going to win when it comes to weight loss. You're going to win. Figuring out how many calories you're eating every day. For 2 weeks, just take 2 weeks and write down every single thing in a 24-hour period what you're eating. So it has to be in a 24-hour period of one day. So if you start eating at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock that next morning, that's a 24-hour period. Write down everything in that 24-hour period that you're eating. And keep a log of it for a couple of weeks. So you're at least know what you're bringing in your body. Because how can you make adjustments when you don't know what you're bringing in? So keep it like a log. Write it down. Yeah, it's going to be a little work. But, you're trying to lose weight. These are your goals, so let's do it. Write down for 2 weeks how many calories you're bringing in. And that'll be about, your maintenance calories, what you're maintaining. That's what's, maintaining your daily activities or whatever. And then start from there. Say if it's 4,000, you're bringing in 4,000 calories a day. Then you tell yourself, okay, I know it's 4,000, about approximately 4,000 calories. So start with 500. Start reducing 500 calories. You don't want to go below 1,200 calories a day. So no one wants to go below 1,200 calories a day. So keep in mind when you're lowering your calories, no one wants to go below 1,200 calories a day because that's not healthy. It's not recommended. So remember that. Also, what helps maximize your weight loss is not just cardio alone, but, incorporating strength training. So strength training is basically lifting weights, resistance training, whatever they want to call it. But doing the cardio and the strength training together helps maximize your weight loss goals. And I'm going to give you just a basic outline of some of the things that, as far as your reps, your sets, your tempo, things you can do in the gym, as far as the weight training, that will help you maximize your weight loss goals. First, I want to start with, and like I said, you can always play around with these. It doesn't have to be set in concrete. Play around with it a little bit. See what works for you. But this, like I said, is just a basic outline. First, we're going to start off. These are we're going to call these your acute variables. And this is basically how much stress you're placing on the body to get your desired results, what you're trying to get from your gym or your exercise regimen. So we're going to start off with the reps. About how many reps should I be doing? Well, first let me explain what a rep is. A rep is, so we'll go back to the barbell. You start up, go down, back up. That's one full rep. So it's one complete movement of an exercise. And I would say you can start off with anywhere from 12 to 20 reps. 12 to 20 reps. As far as sets is basically, if I tell you, okay, you're doing 12 reps. So when you complete those 12 reps, that's considered one set. So I would say do anything between 1 and 3 sets. The next one would be tempo. Tempo, I would say 4, 2, 1. 4 in the eccentric, 2 in the isometric, 1 in the concentric. And let me explain what that is. Your tempo is basically how fast or how slow you lift or you move in an exercise. So the 4, 2, 1 is 4 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. That's how they base the tempo off of seconds. So when I say 4 seconds, whatever exercise you're choosing to do, make the eccentric phase at least 4 seconds. So you can go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. Or you can say 1, 2, 3, 4. And that phase, the eccentric phase, should be finished. The eccentric phase is the lowering phase or the negative. They also call it when you lengthen the muscles. So basically in a dumbbell curl, I don't know why I keep calling this thing a barbell. In the dumbbell curl, the eccentric phase would be when you lower the weight. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that would be the eccentric phase. The 2 would be when you pause. That's the isometric phase. So when you pause for 2 seconds. And the 1 is the concentric, is when you raise the weight back up. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, and back up 1. So you're actually going back up a little faster. That's the concentric phase. So if you was doing a squat, it would take you 4 seconds to go down. 2, you hold it at the bottom, and then 1, you come back up. Intensity, 50 to 70% of your 1 rep max. Okay, let me explain the 1 rep max. Say if you're trying to figure out your 1 rep max, and I will have a link on my site where you can go to this other website and plug in these numbers, and it'll help you determine your 1 rep max. Say if you go in the gym and you pick up a weight. First of all, you don't want to pick up anything that you can lift more than 10 reps of. Because if you can just pick up something and just go at it, then it's too light. You don't want to pick up anything that you can go over 10 reps. So go and pick up a 80-pound dumbbell. And however many times you can lift it, that's what you plug into this website that I'm going to give you. You put the pounds that you use, which would be 80 pounds, and how many reps. And like I said, you don't want to go over 10. You don't want to pick up anything that you can lift more than 10. So let's say you can do it for 3. You did it for 3 reps. So you have 80 pounds and 3 reps. And then you hit calculate, and that's your 1 rep max. Whatever number they give you, that's your 1 rep max. And that's what you do 50 to 70% of. Your rest is anywhere between 0 and 90 seconds. So between sets, not between reps, between sets, full sets, after that set, you rest between 0 and 90 seconds before you get on to your next set. The frequency is between 2 and 4 times a week, and the duration is between 4 and 6 weeks. So after you've done your whatever you have set up for as your exercise regimen, after you do that for 4 to 6 weeks, your body it's time for a change. Your body's saying, okay, I'm used to this. If you want any more results from me, we need to step it up. We need to hike it up. We need to make this a little harder. As far as the core, your core, we will say, as far as reps, 12 to 20 reps, sets 1 to 4 sets, tempo 4, 2, 1. So you want to slow it down. This is more like a slower tempo. Frequency 2 to 4 weeks. Duration 4 to 6 weeks. And then you want to switch it up. Now I want to give you some tips about cardio. Remember I said about cardio. Cardio is anything that's getting your heart rate up and getting your breathing rate up and you're sweating. So you don't have to necessarily be in a gym to make this happen. So keep that in mind. And also remember what I told you. When you're lowering your calories, you don't want to go below 1,200 calories a day. And a day is 24 hours. Okay, tips to burn more calories. Anytime you're exercising, if you're standing up, of course you're using more muscles because your muscles are having to work more because you're standing up. So, it's having to stabilize you. So any exercise done in a standing position is better for burning calories versus seated or lying down. So keep that in mind. When more muscles are being used for a longer period of time. So instead of like sitting doing something where you're only using 1 or 2 muscles, when you're using a full body, when you're doing a full body exercise where you're using more muscles and you're doing it for a longer period of time, that's burning more calories. When rest periods are controlled to minimize full recuperation. So remember, you don't want your body to fully recuperate or to fully recover. You don't want to bring your heart rate and everything back down to the resting state. You want to, before you get into that resting mode, you want to start back doing any type of exercise. Whatever you're doing, you don't want to sit too long. You want to try to keep it moving. But some people may need a longer rest period. And if you do, that's fine. You can always work your way up to shorter rest periods. And we all know you can burn more calories when you're doing cardio and resistance training. Not just cardio alone. If you want to maximize it, you want to lift weights also. You're burning more calories that way. Another tip to help maximize your weight loss goals is doing exercises in an unstable but controlled environment. And when I say unstable, you want to be somewhere unstable, but you want to be able to control it safely so you don't hurt yourself. So doing exercises on one leg, that's unstable but controlled. Doing exercises on a stability ball, like doing your abs on your stability ball, doing bench presses on a stability ball. Those are considered unstable environments. Also, the Bosu ball, that half looking ball that you see in the gym, doing exercises with that. foam pad, standing on a foam pad while you're lifting weights, because you're having, like I said, it's unstable, but you're having to stabilize yourself with all of your muscles. And remember what I said, using all muscles helps burn more calories. And I'll have a list of things that you can do in an unstable but controlled environment. I'll put a list of things that you can use or things that you can do to make it sort of unstable. But like I said, you want to be where you can control it. You don't want to make it too unstable where you hurt yourself or fall or something. And you'll say, Buffy told you to do it. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Also remember, as just a little, reminder, that the more muscle you have, the more calories you can burn during exercise and throughout the day. So that's why they said the lifting weights and the resistance training helps. Even, when you're not working out, having more lean muscle mass helps maximize your weight loss goals. Okay, as far as where to start with cardio, how much cardio should you start doing? As far as where to start with physical activity, I'll give you some recommendations from the United States of Health and Human Services. And they have 3 levels. They have a low level, they have a medium level, and they have a high level as far as what they consider physical activity. So their low level is saying that anything fewer than 150 minutes a week is considered low activity. So in my opinion, if you're not doing no type of physical activity, if you sedentary and you're not doing, like, your activity level every day is low, I would say start here. That would be a good place for you to start. 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercising. So moderate intensity, I will have a list of what's considered moderate activity, what's considered vigorous activity. Of course, vigorous is going to be more intense. So I'll have a list of the two so you'll know whether you're doing moderate or vigorous. But like I said, as far as low activity, fewer than 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity physical activity. That's the low side. So if you're at least doing 150, at least anywhere, like, you got to start somewhere. So 150 a week, and that's 2 hours and 30 minutes. So if you can get that out of yourself a week and spread it out during the week, don't try to do all of it in one day. Spread it out throughout the week. But they said that if you want to do 75 minutes a week, it has to be vigorous. So of course, if you're doing more high intensity, you don't have to do as many minutes. So they saying that 75 minutes of vigorous activity is still sort of low. They consider low activity. What they consider medium activity, now these are the people who are, you still ain't just overly active, but you are doing something. You're not just sitting around every day. So what they consider medium activity is 150 to 300 minutes a week of moderate intensity physical activity. So, and that's a week, not in one day. In 1 week, if you're doing anywhere between 150 and 300 minutes of moderate physical activity, they consider that medium. So I would say if you do go to the gym and you're doing something, then medium is the way to start. I would start right there at the medium level. But they said as far as vigorous, if you want to step it up and do vigorous as far as medium activity, then you don't have to do but 75 to 150 minutes a week. And that's a vigorous intensity physical activity. And it's considered medium level. Now the high level of activity is more than 300 minutes of moderate intensity exercising or physical activity a week. and they consider that high. And they is the United States of Health and Human Services. Don't get discouraged. Please don't get discouraged if one person, if Jane over here is losing all this weight and you haven't. Because it may take Jane 2 weeks to lose 5 or 10 pounds. It may take you 2 months to lose 5 or 10 pounds. But don't say that it's not working for you. Just say that it's not working fast enough. But like, it will come. It will come. Follow the simple equation of burning off more than you're bringing in, having that balance, creating that calorie deficit, and it will work. But everyone's body is different. So because one person is working quicker for them than you're not that person. Do what works for you. Focus on yourself. That's when people start saying that things are not working. They'll work out 2 or 3 weeks and they're like, this is not working. And I don't like when people tell me that. I'm telling you, it irritates me when people tell me that, because working out, healthiness and all of that is like in life, a lifestyle. You can't do it 2 or 3 weeks and just assume it's not working for you. Maybe it's not working that fast for you. You got to stay motivated and you got to keep doing it. Please just keep doing it. Just stick to it. And if you're finding that you're doing something and after a couple of months you don't really see any results, then sit down and think about it and say, okay, well, let me try this. You got to play around with different things, because the squats is working for this person. The squats may not necessarily work for you. Something else may work better for you. So like I said, it's different for different people. There's no set number as far as weight loss. There's no set amount of calories for weight loss. It's going to be different from person to person. Trust me, it's going to be different. So, that's just my 2 cents. So, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and see you later.